Look at these three babies. Just chilling out while their Aunt JJ blow dries her hair. Ooh. Oh, Mary doesn't like it. I don't think Georgia does too. This is Bree, JJ3, putting on some more paint to talk to you about love and sex. I'm going to get in on this one. Okay, so Harper was wanting to wear something that showed off the cleavage, and Jesse and I talked her out of it. She's like, we're going to be talking about love and sex. We need to show off our titties. But we're not going to. We thought this was more fitting. So, anyway, this is Jesse. Oh. Maybe it is Jesse. I was thinking that it was Bree, but all of a sudden out comes here's Jesse. So we're a blend today. We are definitely a blend today. All of us are co-conscious. I don't know if Jude is. She's not been really coming through. But definitely Jesse is here, obviously. And Harper is here. And I am here. And I am Bree. And I'm pretty sure that I'm the one fronting, but it seems like Jesse jumped through right then. So who knows? We're talking about love and sex today. And we want to start first with the love part. Specifically you fellers. I don't know about you. So I believe that we've said before on numerous of these that we are bisexual. But I'll give you a little history about our relationships. We have never been in a relationship with a girl. We are attracted to women. But that has been kind of pushed out because of our religious background. We were taught that that was wrong, that the Bible says that that's wrong, and so therefore that is wrong. And it's really hard to break free from that when you've had that programming from childhood. Even though we do not believe, well, we know that Jesus never said anything about that. And also we do not feel that the messages that God gives us is that we should love everyone. Love everyone. Now, of course, you don't go around and hurt children. You don't twist your love and become a pedophile. But that is not happening on the scale that people who are totally against gay rights, that is not happening on the scale that they say that it is. Most of the people who are pedophiles are straight men, and they molest their granddaughters and daughters and cousins and nieces. Those are the pedophiles, and they have their victims right there in their family that they can hide from everybody else. Or you have a lot of priests who are in the church, but for some reason the church has decided that they're not allowed to have sex, which is kind of stupid. So they go into this profession, and then they've got their victims right there as those little altar boys. And that's where your pedophiles are. People who are, I was not going to talk about this, but people who are different, minority groups, most of them are not looking at your children in that way. So they should have the rights to exist the way that they want to exist and be the way that they want to be. If that means that they want to be a woman and they were born a man, that's none of your friggin' business. Leave them alone. And if there's only a men's bathroom and a woman's bathroom and they're dressed as a woman, they're going to go in and use the women's restroom because they're going to try not to draw attention to themselves. Unfortunately, a lot of transgender people do transition later in life. And so it is hard for them to look like what they are inside. And so you will have some that are obviously not born a female that need to use the female restroom. And that's had a big, huge deal made out of it that shouldn't be. You know, I tell you what, we just need to get single restrooms in places. That's what needs to happen. But I do agree that the liberal side has taken it too far too. Drag queens by nature are sexualized. By nature, they are sexualized. And they are usually gay men who are dressing as women as a performance aspect, but it's always sexualized. Those people should not be going into schools and talking to kids. They shouldn't. So don't take it too far, my side. That's ridiculous. Leave drag queens out of schools and libraries and talking to kids. That does not need to happen. That's an adult thing. Keep it with adults. So it looks like this is going to be a full-blown rant today. I don't know. Anyway, okay. So there is a middle ground. There is always a middle ground, and we need to use common sense and the Holy Spirit to find that middle ground. Okay, so I guess Jude is here as well. Or maybe it's just that she's impacted us because we're able to communicate with God now as well. I don't know. But God says that we need to love people. And if somebody is born in the wrong body or believes that they're born in the wrong body, that's for them to figure out. That's not for you to decide for them just because you don't want your kids to see that there's another option. Because that's really what it boils down to. You don't want yours to know that there is another option for them. You want them to grow up normal in their little box that society makes for them. And you don't want them to know that there's another option because they might choose that option. And it's going to be hard for them because there is so much hate. And you're keeping it going. You're keeping it going. Because I'll tell you what, your kid's going to be who your kid is. And they're either going to be happy or they're going to be sad. And it really depends on what society does to them, including you. So just stop it. It's okay to have different options out there for people to see. It's okay. Now, hurting children, that's different. You don't touch a child. And they really don't need to be exposed to this either because they are very susceptible. So on the flip side, I truly believe that we do have some people that are born in the wrong bodies. Jazz Jennings, definitely born in the wrong body. As soon as she was able to talk, she was telling her parents that she was not a girl, she was a boy. And she had a sibling that was a female, and she had two siblings that were male, and then she was born into a male body. And they're a very normal family. If you look up her story, extremely normal family. Jazz has had some depression, but it seems like the rest of them are, mentally. And the only reason why Jazz has had the depression is because of all the hate that people send her way. And that kind of comes along with it by being so open with it at age 6. But this is something that people need to know. People need to know that occasionally a child can be born in the wrong body. If that child is telling you at 2 years old that they're not a boy, they're a girl, and it continues for years and years, and then finally the child is getting very depressed when you force it to dress in boys' clothes, which is what happened with Jazz. She was throwing major fits when she was being forced to dress as a boy because she was not a boy. On the inside, she's a girl. And luckily, her parents are loving enough that they accepted that and they allowed her to start dressing as a girl on her 5th birthday. And people will sometimes say she transitioned on her 5th birthday. That is the right is messing up the definition of that word. That word just means that she started dressing as a girl. She didn't get anything lopped off. She didn't start taking blockers because she's a child. You don't have to do that at that age. But now she did start having major nightmares whenever she was getting closer and closer to puberty because she was afraid that she was going to start going through male puberty. And there were just some decisions that were made in order to stop her puberty and make sure that she did not develop as a boy. And watch her story. Watch her story and stories like that. And you're going to see that that girl is a girl. She was born in the wrong body. But on the flip side, you do have cases of children who have not had a good childhood. And they have had a lot of trauma up to the age of like 9 years old. And maybe when they were younger, they were fine being a girl or fine being a boy. And then all of a sudden around 9 or 10, they hear about that you can become the opposite gender. I do think in some of those cases that it's a phase that you need to let them explore, but you also need to do a lot of therapy to make sure that it's not just confused parts on the inside. There needs to be a lot of parts work done because I do believe that we all have internal family systems. We all have different sides of ourselves on the inside. And I believe that in some of these cases, a child has had trauma and is actually an undiagnosed dissociative disorder. And one of their parts is irrationally thinking that everything's going to be better if I could just be the other gender. And I could see that maybe having happened to me as a child. I could see if I knew that that was a possibility, I could see maybe Harper thinking, maybe my life would be better if I just became a boy. But she knows that she's not a boy. It just has taken the adult me to let her know that. And also me, I'm very masculine when I'm in full Bre mode. Not so much right now because everybody's blended in. But when I'm in full Bre mode, I am completely masculine. And if I had at 9 or 10 been introduced to the fact that I could maybe transition to a boy, maybe I would have chosen to do that. I don't think so because Jesse and Jude were really strong, and Harper especially has major crushes on boys. We are definitely more attracted to men than we are to women, especially Jude, because she's got the whole Bible thing going on, and she has kind of blocked that possibility. But we're opening our minds to that now. So maybe so. This has gone completely off the rails. I was going to talk about something else, so I'm going to stop this video and we'll probably post it separate. And then I'm going to actually talk about what we wanted to talk about as far as love goes.